Today on The Gold Standard.
I would view physical gold as protection against financially catastrophic events. There's so much stuff out there that's happening that could cause something bad to happen with our money. You have to see gold, Dave, as a safe haven investment.
This is The Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Deno. Welcome to The Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group, and his peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, it is a pleasure to join you again this week.
It's a pleasure to join you this week, Dave.
Our topic is a guide to owning bullion and coins. And Ken, usually here at the beginning of our time together, we take a look at the economy, but I think people are getting an earful from their local and national news sources. They know what's happening, which should make them, I think, more interested in preserving their savings and investments by using gold and other precious metals to safeguard their funds. Those are funds that they have saved and, in many cases, invested for retirement or a future project. So let's give them the information today that they need to make an informed decision about moving a portion of their funds into the stable security of gold and other precious metals. Let's begin by talking about the privacy of gold.
Yeah, I mean, and financial privacy and financial freedom should matter, right, Dave? It's important, and it's a great place to begin because the privacy of owning physical gold, Dave, gold you can hold, has become much more important after recent moves by our government. We've spoken about the executive orders about digital assets, and we're headed towards a monetary and a financial system where everything is monitored, where everything is under constant surveillance. So financial privacy is very important. It's front and center. We already know that much of what we do online, Dave, financially can be accessed by government officials if they believe they have a right to snoop into our private affairs. Online banking, online purchases, that even means buying gold online accounts with other financial institutions. It's all monitored. It's all leaves a paper trail. It all leaves a trail of what you're doing. All of those things are open to prying eyes, Dave, that want to know how much money we make, how much we spend, where we keep it. Very, very important. Physical gold, though, on the other hand, is completely private wealth. We talk about wealth preservation through the ownership of physical precious metals every week, Dave. Taking some money out of the banking system or out of the market so that you can survive the upcoming financial collapse. And this is front and center, more important today than ever. Gold, Dave, can be bought and sold without any registration, without a public record. You don't have to give us your social security number when you move some assets into gold. And best of all, it can be stored and secured directly by its owner. So it's a money, Dave, you could hold and control. Very important. We live in a financial environment, Dave, where most all transactions and virtually every investment is recorded electronically. And taking your money out of the system could even flag you as a suspicious person. Go to the bank, Dave, and go up to the teller and say, I'd like to withdraw $20,000 and see how easy it is. And they ask you for all these different forms of identification and, call the asset manager to try and convince you to not take your money out of the bank, and call the parking lot attendant too to have them come on in and make sure that they can try to convince you to just keep your money in the paper system. But, they do flag you as being suspicious. It's actually what the form is called. But many investors believe it is more important now to invest in some sort of private wealth. With everything moving the way it is, and there's so much risk out there and so much leverage and so much that people don't understand and so much volatility, gold is important for financial survival. But for privacy, Dave, gold has become the asset for privacy, and privacy is a very important reason to put a a portion of your savings today or your investments in your retirement accounts or your bank accounts and think about converting it and diversifying it into something as stable and private and free, meaning freedom, as gold.
Ken, I appreciate the privacy of owning gold. And another reason to invest in gold is protection. Tell us how that works.
Well, Dave, gold is thought about as an insurance policy if the financial system collapses. It's an insurance policy if our dollar collapses, much like these fiat currencies have done throughout history. Gold is an insurance policy on our wealth. It's an insurance policy for our portfolio, perhaps the most effective means of overall financial security. Gold, it's a crisis asset. How many times have we spoke about that, Dave?
Mm.
If we experience another stock market crash, or I should say when we experience another stock market crash, and when we experience an upcoming banking crisis, we all know that real estate eventually is going to take a big hit. We all know that the purchasing power of the US dollar, Dave, is inevitable, as they print unlimited money out of thin air. What do people think? Our dollar is going to buy more in the future? No, folks, it's going to continue to buy less. You just can't print stuff into infinity and think that it's going to increase in purchasing power. So what is that going to do to your savings and your retirement plans? Not to mention, we now have inflation. When the dot-com crash came back in 2000, Dave, we didn't have 8% inflation. So we're in a very, very different situation now than when we were back then. So I would view, Dave, as gold having no substitute to protect your portfolio. I would view physical gold as protection against financially catastrophic events. There's so much stuff out there that's happening that could cause something bad to happen with our money. You have to see gold, Dave, as a safe haven investment because that's exactly what it's always been. It's a safe haven investment, meaning investors who allocate substantial funds to gold, you know that it's always going to be worth something, Dave, but there's a very good chance that you're also going to see a reliable return on your investment over the next 5 or 10 years, as our paper money is almost guaranteed to fall in purchasing power. So gold just all around, Dave, especially right now. And remember, physical gold, which is the only way that we endorse wealth preservation with gold, is in physical form. It just makes good financial sense.
A reminder here you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And our topic today is A Guide to Owning Bullion and Coins. Ken, you've given us two compelling reasons for owning physical gold: privacy and wealth preservation. So, what's the process for buying gold for a person who has never done it before?
Well, it's pretty simple. And another great reason to own gold, Dave, is our awful central banking leaders and our current administration, which is just going to lead us right into the wrong direction for sure. So we're just talking about money, but there's a lot of stuff going on out there. But gold is a simple process if you deal with somebody who specializes in that, Dave, like Midas Gold Group. That's what we do. We're gold specialists. We just focus on precious metals. I mean, that's what we do. There's so many different reasons with for owning physical gold right now. We could only go over so many of them in a short show time, but talking with us on the phone, Dave, is the first step in making a great decision, because you can become educated on maybe some of the reasons why you should be thinking about doing this, or what are some of the options available to you, or what are some products that are available. The first step we take is to kind of think about a portfolio or a precious metal allocation for a client. We will tailor that to meet specific goals and needs, age, beneficiaries, and not to mention, what's very important is exactly how much money are we converting. That's very relevant. We then fund accounts, Dave, by receiving your funds by wire transfer, check, IRA transfer, maybe an old 401k rollover. Following that, we will verify orders with clients, make sure that they understand everything, make sure we've crossed every T and dotted every I, make sure people are satisfied. Look at our ratings. We have almost a 5-star rating. To have that type of a reputation with the public when you're dealing with those sorts of transactions, it's an incredible track record, and we take pride in that. We ship your gold directly, Dave, securely, privately, promptly. It's signature guarantees. We really want accuracy of our orders. We We try to do the best we can, even in a very difficult environment, as gold and silver are becoming hard to get in some instances, as the supply of physical products are continuously getting tighter and tighter. But if you read about gold, if you see what you're purchasing, Dave, if you talk to qualified, experienced people, nothing compares to actually holding it in your hands. Because as we've talked about many, many times, it's gold you hold is the only gold that you own outright. So for many, many reasons, Dave, we don't expect people to, just do whatever we say, but we will hold their hand throughout the whole process. We will tell them exactly what to do, what we would suggest, what our plans are, what we see happening. We're with them every step of the way. We're very reliable, very, very trustworthy, very, very accessible. And when it comes to your money, when it comes to your investments, isn't that exactly what you're supposed to be looking for?
Ken, I can attest to the fact that it feels really, really good to receive gold from Midas Gold Group. I have done that. It feels good to hold what I know is safe and secure and private wealth. I really appreciate that. We're going to continue our guide to owning bullion and coins a little bit later in the program, and we'll highlight several other tangible ways to convert your wealth into the security of gold. But first, a reminder that you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And coming up, we're going to look at a specific precious metal product that you can use to safeguard your wealth. And that's coming up right after this.
I'm here with Midas Gold Group's senior trader and Marine Corps veteran, James Clark. James, why are people investing in gold and silver?
Well, Dr. Gorka, the Federal Reserve supplies money to pay for congressional spending. As Congress expands spending, the Fed has no choice but to keep printing money at an accelerated rate. This causes the dollar to fall and gold to increase.
So as the Fed and Congress devalue the dollar, what can people do?
As the nation's #1 veteran-owned precious metals dealer, we offer diversification strategies in the form of precious metals. As Congress looks to the Fed for more money, investors look to gold and silver to protect their nest egg.
And I recommend that you look to Midas Gold Group for all your precious metal needs. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno, and our topic today is a guide to owning bullion and coins. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, you can actually come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers, that's 855-322-4653. Now, it's time for us to look at one of our featured precious metal products. The one that we want to look at this week is the Gold American Eagle. Tell us about it, Ken.
As you know, Dave, it's one of my favorite gold coins, one of the most popular gold coins on the market and in the world. And the thinking is let's say you're not happy with your money all at the bank, Dave, or you're not happy with how the stock market's working. You're not happy about our leadership and what they're doing to this country, and our financial system is unsafe. What can you do? Well, one thing you can do is you can take some money out of that system and put it into the Gold American Eagle. It's a national symbol. It's beautiful. It's mostly in 1 ounce form. It's a 22 karat gold coin, and there's many reasons why, Dave. It's one of the most popular gold bullion coins in the world.
Ken, every gold coin has a history all of its own. Tell us about this one.
Well, it was first authorized in Congress in 1985. Don't forget, folks, we had no gold made by the United States from 1933 to 1985 because of Roosevelt and Nixon and everything else. And it was an instant smash, reaching iconic status almost overnight. The Gold American Eagle, Dave, is quite simply an obvious top choice for any serious gold bullion investor. Remember, folks, we don't try to make people collectors. We're just trying to give them some products that will offer wealth preservation in a market where a lot of paper could just disappear. That's the premise. So it's minted in 22 karat gold. which means that it's 0.9167 fine. There is a 1 ounce full gold in the coin, Dave, but there's also just a little silver and a little copper in it. So it gives it a little bit of a browner look than maybe say a maple leaf or a buffalo. But this does make the gold eagle very durable and strongly resistant to scratching. It's the largest gold coin, Dave, struck by the U.S. Mint, and its purity is guaranteed by the American government. It still offers a tremendous coin that could be put inside of an IRA, or it can be owned in your own possession. The head side, Dave, as you know, it's a throwback to another American classic coin, the St. Gaudens, the $20 double eagle coin, minted from 1907 to 1933. And then the reverse side features a striking love scene between two noble members of our national avian species, a bald eagle that brings an olive branch to the nest of a mother female guarding her hatchling babies. That's version 1. And version type 2, which came out last year, is just a large side profile of a bald eagle. It's a great coin, Dave. And like we said before, Dave, it's also IRA eligible. You could own it in your own possession with cash transactions or non-qualified account transactions. It's a tremendous coin, should be part of every single portfolio when it comes to wealth preservation.
Thank you, Ken. Coming up in a moment, we'll continue our guide to owning bullion and coins with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group right after this.
The Fed lied when they initially said inflation was transitory. They knew it wasn't, but didn't want to panic the markets and you, the people. This is why they tried to keep secret the $125 trillion in loans they gave banks around the world. We've seen inflation ramping up, and Midas Gold Group thinks the Fed is way behind the curve with interest rates. Venezuela is the case study when political policies go awry and chaos ensues. It's time to call Midas Gold Group, 805-601-6000. You can add financial privacy and protection from inflation and profit potential to your investments through physical gold and silver. They provide you with the quality service and critical information you need without the pushy salesman. Get your portfolio reset with gold and silver. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno, and our topic today is a guide to owning bullion and coins. If you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, let's return to a guide to owning bullion and coins. Ken, some people have most of their wealth, their life savings, invested in Wall Street. So, how can they transform a good portion of those funds into physical gold without paying the government outrageous taxes?
Well, I mean, the gold IRA doesn't eliminate us from paying taxes when we take our gold out or when we take our money out, but the transfer itself, Dave, the rollover, is not a taxable event. And we do have a guide, an actual physical guide, Dave, to owning bullion and coins. So if people want to call in and request one, no obligation, no promise to do any business, we'd be happy to send them one so they could read it and look at it and maybe use it as a coffee table book. But Dave, there is a financial instrument that is called a gold IRA. It allows you to transfer funds from an existing IRA or an old 401k or some other retirement account. And that rollover or that transfer is tax-free into a gold IRA. It's not a taxable event to convert your account from paper or accounts from paper to banking system paper to stock market paper to bond paper into physical gold and silver. If you don't already have one of those types of retirement accounts, Dave, we could help you start a gold IRA from scratch. The important thing to keep in mind about a gold IRA is that it's not paper money or a paper investment. Remember, folks, we're not talking about ETFs, paper gold, mining shares, nothing like that. It's actual physical gold stored away for you in a secured depository. There's many of them throughout the United States. People frequently pick maybe one that's near them or within driving distance. So you could access your gold and your precious metals whenever the need arises. Most people take delivery of their precious metals through a distribution that usually is done through insured FedEx or insured UPS. It follows all of the guidelines, Dave, of an IRA. It's actual physical gold sitting securely on a shelf. You could have segregated or non-segregated storage. If you'd like, you could actually have storage that belongs to you and only you. Costs a little bit extra to do that, but something that we could look into. Not necessary, but we could look into it. And again, let me emphasize, Dave, transferring funds from a existing retirement fund into a gold IRA that we set up for you, that rollover or that transfer is tax-free. It's just a sideways move from one retirement fund into a much more secure, different type of retirement fund that's actually bars and actual coins of a certain purity that do qualify for an IRA.
A reminder here, you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is a guide to owning bullion and coins. Ken, we've been talking exclusively about gold until now, but silver, as I understand it, can also be a good choice for a diversified collection of precious metals, metal coins, and bars. Is that right?
Yeah, Dave, I think over time it offers a great opportunity. You know, silver is an excellent choice for any portfolio of precious metals. It's certainly more affordable per ounce than gold is. The demand for silver is growing every year. That's because not only because of its monetary aspects or its money supply aspects, but silver, Dave, is an excellent conductor of electricity. It's widely used in electronics. Silver is in your phone, your cell phone, your computer, your TV, any car, appliances, any item that uses a computer circuitry or a chip uses silver. So as I said, demand for silver is increasing every year, every day. That alone adds to its value, Dave, not to mention its historic record as a precious metal used for money all the way back to the Roman Empire. So yes, I would have a portion of my precious metal portfolio in silver, keep it safely tucked away or in your gun safe or in a facility where you know that it's not going to be messed with. It'll be there when you need it. Could actually even consider platinum or palladium, Dave, but I would tell you that both of them are very, very rare. Palladium is almost impossible to find these days, not really too much of it around at all in coin or bar form, but it does come up from time to time. But when you call as a client or a prospect, we can outline the advantages and the cost of each. The bottom line, Dave, is that precious metals, physical precious metals like in gold and silver, is a much, much better way to hold your money as an investment than keeping everything you have in the banking system or in the economy. We all know where this is headed. We all know the direction of where our leaders are taking us financially and where our dollar is taking us now and where it has taken us over the past 50 years. It's going in the wrong direction. You need something to diversify your money with. You need something to keep your money safe and possibly increase its purchasing power. Precious metals is the thing that has always done that, Dave.
That is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on The Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. And a reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS. I'm always happy to let people know about this other feature. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD. Call them, 855-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you for your time again today.
Always a pleasure, Dave.
I'm Dave Deno, and I hope you'll come and join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.